All right, everybody, I am back with a brand new DC update. And today we get to take a look at a fetish that our good old friend James Gunn has with Pez. And we'll take a look at his actual Threads account here at the end of this video. But I do have a couple of other things to talk about before we get there. And the first of those is something that I find interesting. So I've had a little bit of hope and optimism in the last couple of videos with the possibility of Zack Snyder being able to conclude his movies, possibly over on somewhere like Netflix. And we also had Ray Porter, who was the voice of Darkseid. He came out in support as well, and he's got some hate because of it. And it just goes to show you how toxic the other side of this is. I don't talk bad about people who want the Snyderverse to end. I don't talk bad about people who are, hoping that Superman or wanting Superman to be good and the DCU taking off. But yet we've got the other side of this where these people are being extremely toxic. But let's take a look at a couple of things here today. All right, so the other day was, Pet Day, National Pet Day. And I actually posted a picture of my dog on Twitter. And James Gunn came out and said, Happy National Pet Day. He talks about making donations to Best Friends Animal Society or another organization that supports animal welfare. I'm doing it now. And he shows a picture of Crypto and Superman. And with the stuff that he's been posting, I honestly do think Crypto is going to be in the film. I think at this point, with all the stuff that he's been posting, that I do think he's putting hints in there that Crypto is going to be in Superman. Now, you guys, I'm going to leave another link to that video that I did in regards to protecting yourself. That'll be at the end of this video. I highly encourage people to check out that video. And for every person that signs up for that 2 free-week trial, it supports my channel. But this goes into proving my point with that video. Roku had another 576,000 accounts that had been accessed by hackers. And it's the second incident of credential stuffing that's been reported by the TV streaming service this year. And we're only 4 months in. Guys, this is serious stuff. You need to take action in protecting yourself out there in regards to your accounts and everything. And that video talks about how to do it. And I highly encourage everybody to check it out. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but this is a rumor going around. It says, in a petty, underhanded, dirty move, it appears Henry Cavill was bound by Warner Brothers Pictures to not reference Superman in any of his press tours of interviews. That's for his new film that's opening up later this week. And that would be a shame if that's the case. They're making these people, they probably had to sign NDAs in regards to the conversations that they had, and he's not allowed to talk about anything. Now, this was something I was thinking about, and I'm glad Cinehouse pointed this out, but he said, okay, gun cultist, now is your chance to explain to me how he didn't have time to go to CinemaCon 2024 to promote his Superman film, but he has time to do this crap. Meet me in the comments below. I want to hear. And again, he's there with Cena dressed up as Peacemaker, and he's showing the back of the costume. I posted that in the other video. But yet, for this big presentation for his film, he wasn't there. It's very strange stuff. All right, so I talked about all the hate that Ray Porter has had coming his way, and it is pretty disgusting. And I'm going to show you one such post here in a minute. And I'm going to point out another post that someone made in regards to Zack Snyder. And it's just disgusting what these people are saying. But Ray Porter said, of the people saying that there's no chance that the Snyderverse should return and why is he doing any of this or even posting, he said something that would make a lot of people very happy. I fail to see how that's a bad thing. Don't know if it could happen. That's beyond my pay grade. But if it could, why not? Exactly. My point in all of this is if you don't want the Snyderverse to be restored and you don't care, what does it hurt you or harm you in any way that there are those of us that hope it does. How does that affect your life? Tell us. I'd love to hear people's comments as to how people like Ray Porter, myself, David Ayer, and others wanting their vision and these stories to continue, how that's a bad thing, how that affects your life in a negative way. Please, sound off. All right, so this is something, and again, I don't know how true this is, but this is something that was being passed around. It says DC's Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow film is set to release in the first half of 2026. The film is reportedly set to shoot in late 2024, after production on James Gunn's Superman movie has wrapped. And we have more news in regards to this coming up as well. And here is that news. James Gunn has confirmed that other DCU scripts are complete besides the in-production films Superman, Supergirl, Creature Commandos, and Peacemaker. We could expect some casting news for Brave and the Bold, Lanterns, and other DCU upcoming projects in the coming months or maybe next year. And that's coming from James Gunn on Threads. The only things I'm interested in are Lanterns, and I'm very cautiously optimistic about Batman being my favorite character. I'm eager to see what they're going to do with the Brave and the Bold, but if it's silly or goofy in any way, I'll be done with DC at that stage. They have to take it seriously. And Batman cannot be joked around with. It's not a lighthearted character, and he has to do them justice. Now, there's a lot of talk about Warner Brothers. I want to talk about this Deadline article here real quick and what some people were talking about online. Warner Brothers tops $1 billion at international box office in own record time. First studio to milestone in 2024. In thanks to Dune Part 2 and the new Godzilla film, Godzilla and Kong, which really was fun but was not like this amazing film. I think it's my favorite Godzilla franchise film so far in the MonsterVerse that Warner Brothers has done. But a lot of people were saying, why are all the Snyder fans not boycotting this? Their boycott isn't working. Those tools, Warner Brothers reigns supreme. I have to remind people, and someone actually talked about this on Twitter, that Legendary is the one that is making the money off of these films. It's not so much Warner Brothers, okay? And I talked about this in a previous video where all the control went back to Legendary Films, even though Warner Brothers is the one distributing it. They're not the ones making all of the money from it. They're getting very little of the profits from this, and that's something people need to understand. This is not helping their debt, and these films are under Legendary, not specifically Warner Brothers. All right, so here's something I wanted to post in regards to, Ray Porter posting his support for the Snyderverse being restored over on Netflix or possibly somewhere else. And this is some of the disgusting stuff you see. This is from Just Ben and says, because he tweeted a Snyderverse hashtag, by the way, don't give me this both sides of the fandom are toxic BS. And this one specific person said, gonna look up Ray Porter's address. I need him dead. Now, hopefully this person was reported. That is a direct threat. And it's pretty pathetic that, like I said, how does this affect you? How does Ray Porter supporting the hashtag, sell Snyderverse to Netflix, how does that affect this person in their life in any way, shape, or form? And on that note, I also saw somebody comment the other day about all of this and, Zack Snyder being excited and ready to go to finish his Justice League movies. Someone made the comment of disparaging him again and trying to put him in a bad light, and did not just insinuate but stated, and I got to be real careful on how I say this on YouTube, how Zack Snyder had done something very egregious to his daughter, and that's why she had basically taken her own life, which is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. People will back up some of the stuff that James Gunn has talked about on Twitter in the past, but then they'll attack Snyder and others in the ways that we're seeing here. This is some extremely toxic crap that is being passed around, and it is not coming from the side of the DCEU fans. This is coming from the other side of it, and it needs to stop. Now, also, we know that Zack Snyder has his Rebel Moon 2 film dropping on the 19th on Friday. I will be reviewing that as soon as it goes up, and I'll be reviewing it on my channel here. But it's interesting. Dan Lin took over there at Netflix, and Catherine Bigelow, who is an amazing director, it says that she has dropped out of directing Aurora for Netflix, apparently under the new leadership of Dan Lin. The streamer is now interested in making films, more about audience and less about auteurs. All right, guys, take that for what you will, but it doesn't look like they want to support creativity. They want to chase after just an audience. And the lowest common denominator stuff looks like is going to be coming down the pike. So we'll see what happens when Rebel Moon Part 2 gets released later this week. All right, guys, so I do have one more thing we're going to look at here. We're going to go over to James Gunn's Threads account. We're going to take a look at what he's been posting. All right, so here we are. This was like the last post that I had talked about, the dog on the set of Superman. And then he started posting these Pez dispensers. We've got Batman and Superman here. So he said a second Pez dispenser has magically appeared in Video Village. And we move up, and this was the Pet Day post that he did. And then all of a sudden he says more Pez dispensers this morning are showing up. 2 different Supermans, 2 of the same Batman, and we have a Wonder Woman. And then this post here had a lot of people assuming that Mxyzptlk is going to be a huge, or Mxyzptlk, however you want to say it. There's Mxyzptlk, Mxyzptlk. It's been said both different ways. I don't know if the creators are still alive or if anybody has said exactly how that's supposed to be said. I've heard it said both ways. But people are assuming that this post is saying that they're assuming this is going to be the main villain of Peacemaker Season 2. Here's a post about his pet. Then we have that famous, Peacemaker Season 2 photo. And then all of a sudden, James Gunn posts this where he's got 4 Superman, 4 Batman, and 3 Wonder Woman Pez dispensers. It's like there must be some running joke down there where every day somebody brings one of these for him to add to his collection. Some weird, I don't know why he's taking the time to post this. It is weird, but that's what he's doing. And then we have this final post. So Pepin Foxy Shazam on the set of Superman today. All right, guys, so there you have it. That is the latest from James Gunn himself. All right, I'll be back this week. Taxes are finally over. My daughter's going back to college tomorrow, and things are going to be settling down a little bit, so I will be back for more videos. I still need to do my review on Civil War, which I actually got to see a couple months ago, and I got to give my thoughts on that film because it doesn't look like they really changed much. I didn't go see it again. My wife wants to see it, but it sounds like the complaints that myself and my friend had when we got to see it early are still in the film. So I'll be talking about that on that review hopefully tomorrow. All right, guys, I will be back with more DC updates this week. I do appreciate all the support. We will see you on the next video.